Thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same without wasting a single second of your time. Bada bing. Hold on. Bada bing. Bada boom, we go into the charts. BTC. So BTC got a little bit of a dip to the downside. We did not take that long idea that we did give out yesterday. Let's go over that first and foremost and how that failed and what was going on at that idea. We did leave our runner open, and then we looked at some longs in the Discord down in the regions here, got stopped out at break even on one and took a less than 1% loss on the second one. And we're just reassessing for now, but let's go ahead and take a look at what we were talking about over here. So this breakdown at the cloud, what was happening here? What could have prevented you from holding on for dear life on this? So first and foremost, you had the cross down event off stream here at 10 o'clock. We were streaming over here at 7 as we were pumping up here. As you started to get this cross down event of the baseline on the hourly, this is something you do not want to ignore. When the hourly baseline crosses down and you were getting this alarm cross here, then that would have been a signal to check out and watch out for your long idea. We'll look into this in more detail, but first let's go into high block capital. What is high block, you say? Well, people lock down liquidity into the charts to get burnt to a crisp by the market maker for not using a stop loss, and we get to see what those crispy characters are, so let's do it now. Oops. First, let's look at the 1 minute time frame, shall we? So So as we are dumping down here into the long ideas, we were seeing some short pools percolate. They came back. Let's go ahead and see what's going on. So as they came down into this $165 million long pool, they retraced up. First, let's say
fatality.
So they came down to this 165 million. Then they retraced up into this 265 million 100x short pool.
Fatality.
And that was where we were looking to long. Originally, we were up like 2% on that. We just let it fade into break even. Here is the idea on that. We were watching it come into that level and possibly come up to that pool. It knocked out the 7-day liquidity zone, and we were taking this idea up. It was about 2%. It was starting to fade. We were seeing this potential. It needed to break that super trend. It did not, and we got stopped at break even. We were looking at another one down here, and this one we took that one less than 1% loss. It was a 0.62% stop loss, and we got stopped out as it came down into that region. So that is what we were looking at. And then here we have it came down even lower into that 41k region and triggered some shorts to enter here to the tune of 359 million, and they V-shaped promptly into the 100x guys.
Fatality.
And even the 50x brethren up here.
Fatality.
At that 42.5 region. And then now we are chilling over here, wondering if we go lower or higher. As it stands, there are some stacked pools of liquidity on the shorts now to the tune of 7.88 billion on the 1 minute time frame. Do we start to make that narrative shift? Is there enough committed shorts that they could V-shape, that they could come up to that 45k hit? If we go and expand our vision to the higher time frame pools, we can see that all of the pools on the 7-day were taken here, and the only thing that can exist to be hit immediately is up above on the 7-day time frame. Now if we shift this over and expand our vision to the higher time frame pools, we're going to see that there is a large amount up at 45.3 and 45.5. That entire region is looking like it could be hit. However, you do have this thick band down at 39k saying don't forget about me, that we could sweep. This is an overall thicker band of liquidity if you add it all up. Now the immediate thick band in a certain region is up in that 45.2, 3, 4, 5 region. Is that because the shorts feel that their protected position, it will never make it into a higher high? Or are they being premature in that guess and there is one more hurrah to the upside? Let's go to the higher time frame pools. As we start to shift to the 3-month, you start to see these 34k guys we were talking about a long time ago starting to get ultra thick. You have 42 billion down at 33.8, 41 billion 33.6, and 36 billion 34k. So you have $100 billion down there waiting to be grabbed at some point. The retrace is something we are looking at as a probability, higher probability, but do they come up and hit that 45k one last time? Can they muster the strength? I would say that with all the alt rallies going on, it's just a matter of finding a discount region for people to trim their alts and re-inject. Are we getting something like this on the hourly where there is this shoulder, head and shoulder idea forming? We broke this Fibonacci, so we're going to delete that. We kind of respected the 886 of this impulse here, and we came down into past this level and we came into a level here. This was this candle over to this side, and we reclaimed some of the liquidity over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete this. If we could expand this down to here and include this entire region. And it looks like we came down to a 706 retracement of this entire impulse to the upside. Now if we we'll just start it from where the impulse started to fade. This 236 is not being respected in terms of a bullish narrative unless we can make it back above this 490 region. Then the ideas of coming back into that are negated. It is already, we broke and disrespected this, so I'm going to delete it and reconsolidate my lines. And let's go ahead and start our descent through the time frames. We're going to remove that head and shoulders idea and just go fresh into it. So the thing we were looking at on the 3-day, the 3-day closed bearishly. We were talking about this cross down event of the 3-day time frame on December 15th, and we've given you examples of how that cross down event has played out in the past and how it is likely a reversal signal. However slight that may be, it means that you could retrace, you know, a good fair amount, 16% each time. And every time these cross down signals on the 3-day occur, you do see some downside ensue. So even if we do come up to that 45K, you could look for a possibility of coming lower. That could have been the short idea though. The one on Sunday could have been it. That could have been the taparoo over here over the weekend, and we could be going lower. Interesting thing was we had a bearish retest of that cloud, and then we came lower from this cloud on the 4-hour. If we go to the lower time frames, let's go to the daily. Daily time frame cross down event. Oh, we forgot to throw on what we are looking at. This is Momentum Master, by the way. Link in the description for more. You can scroll down to features, toggle everything with the toggle switches at your leisure, or read about each of the components as we go over them. Dynamic alerts and whatnot to your phone and more. So the baseline event of the cross down of this daily has been seeing the price close beneath the candles here, and you've been getting this suppression of the baselines in conjunction with that 3-day setting a tone for bearishness. Why was I looking to long down here? Well, I was looking at one last push up to this region to basically stop out the shorts one last time. We are getting a possible suppression of the baselines of the price here using the Williams here on the daily, so getting this possible acceleration to the cloud, coming down to that 41K, recovering this wick that we bounced off of. We are reassessing. We're not going to rush back in. We got stopped out twice, once at break even and once at 0.6% loss, less than 1% per trade. It basically took back the profits on the runner that I had from the short. If we look at the 22-hour crossing down here and getting this reset of the 22, the Williams possibly suppressing it to come lower. You're beneath the cloud as we speak, and this cloud is bearish in tonality, so we are going possibly lower on the 22. If we go to the 12-hour, 12-hour also getting candles starting beneath the cloud here, so we could be seeing some acceleration down into these 41K regions and holding that region. We are getting some buyback here as we come back into those 100x shorts. Does it have enough strength to muster to come back into the 43.3 region of the short liquidity? or not? Is this a breakaway repricing structure where we're going to go lower? If we look at some higher time frame narratives on the monthly has you down at that 39K would have a bunch of liquidity double digits, but not in the same tonality as 45.4. Okay, so we're approaching the end of the year, so a lot of people are closing out their positions to do their taxes and all of that. So they are closing out the positions to adjust. And yeah, if we look at even Steven levels on the money flow on the 12-hour, not fatigued or on either side. Basically below the 50 level, getting oversold on the 12. Saw some acceleration and cross down event of the 12-hour time frame, starting to see the baselines cross down. If we go to the 6-hour time frame, has the money flow beneath the RSI slightly, and you're getting this Williams suppression effect starting to abate as we come into oversold levels. If you look at what happened, we broke the super trend on the 6-hour. Now the bearish super trend is about 4.4% away. We are coming to that 42,355 daily supported resistance level. Can we maintain this level and start to get above 500 or not? If we go to the 4-hour, 4-hour tonality is bearish as we see this cloud shifting, and we got this bearish retest of that recapturing of the 4-hour cloud, and we broke down here. This would have been a beautiful re-entry for a short idea. I had already taken profits on this one, and the runner played out to here, but yeah, working. It's my last day of work. I have to go into work from now too. So the hourly is where we were seeing this possible recapture, but the ultimate bearish overtone of the 4-hour and this hourly cross down had you at hello, and we are starting to see this potential of continuation. Why is it continuing? Well, if you look at this cloud is not showing a curvature whatsoever. We always talk about this curvature. So this cloud having a curvature like this was what gave us the idea on Sunday to short it, because it was starting to curve. So in the opposite effect, if you have a curvature happening on the other side of the equation, like here, this type of curvature in advance gives you the idea of it going the other way before it happens. So you see this thinning of the cloud, and then we come and recapture the cloud, and boom, we can go up. This is also on the schematic. If you look at the trend cloud, you'll see how it thins. This is fractal in nature, so this occurs on all assets all the time. So this is what you're looking at for those bottoms and tops. So seeing this, it would be happening on the lower time frame and cascading its way out. So we would need to see this hourly cloud, which is now pointed down to that 5 o'clock angle, need to abate and start to curve. As of this moment, not showing signs of abating, so there is no bullish narrative just yet. There was a possibility on that reclaiming of that 236 bullish trend base fib for a double bottom here, but we got stopped out on that idea. But it's all good in the hood. That's part of the game. All right, so if we go to the 15, so the 15 showing a little bit more signs of life here with that cloud reclaiming and still respecting the bearish super trend level. These are all back tested levels that if you're in a trend, you can monitor and put your stop loss accordingly. We also have a frugal stop loss calculator here that will put you just outside of those ranges if you're looking to have a stop within a frugal range, average true range level. And yeah, let's go ahead and see what's going on. So we're getting the cross down event of the 15-minute here. The 15-minute is overbought and coming down. Money flow was above the RSI, starting to get this to come down here. You did come and reclaim some of this liquidity. You took out this $359 million 100x pool of shorts, so we could come down into some of these longs. There isn't really much long liquidity in the immediate vicinity without going down to the wick here at 41,605. There's 162 million down there. Otherwise, you could be creating that shoulder head and shoulder idea up to 43,336. So let's put that 43,336 on the charts. They are on the chopping block. 43,336. I like the triple threes. So there is some liquidity up in this candle over here, this fair value gap over here on the 15. This has some liquidity. What amount do you say? 359 million is a cool $359 million stacked up with a $265 million character at 43,100. So do they come up into this vector here into recovery of some of this fair value gap, or are we coming lower into the retracement levels? So what you would do, you would take this Fibonacci, put this from wick to wick, and look for some retracement into one of these pockets. What pocket is this, and what is this entry model? Well, we will go ahead and share that with you here. This is this one. You can pause the video at this time or ask me in the Discord for a copy of this. This is what you would be looking for entry. So you'd be seeing this liquidity grab, which we had. We created some liquidity here. They went and grabbed it. And then you need to see some break of structure. We haven't really had that yet. So this would have to come up to here and then start to retrace back down. So if we came up to here, for example, then you would watch for a retrace down, and then this could continue. So this would be something you look at like this. You would have to break this bearish super trend first. So even if you don't know what all of this stuff means, like break of structure and all that, basically breaking this super trend. If we break this super trend and come up and retrace into a fair value gap, there's a fair value gap, not really anywhere nearby. It traded pretty fairly. So this fair value in this range is actually pretty fairly traded. If we come down into this BPR, that's about the only one I can see over here. If you want to know what fair value gaps are, you can use this fair value gap indicator free of charge, fractal break imbalance, fair value gap liquidity void indicator, and it will show you how to find those. But yeah, we would need to retrace down into some of this first and show some bullishness out of this range. Okay, so if you go to a lower time frame, you can even see that entry model if you're at a point of interest on the higher time frame. As it stands right now, we are rejecting some levels here. We did make a bounce off of the 5-minute cloud. As you see, the curvature and the reclamation was having you at hello. So if you're playing a scalper's play, you can play this as a scalp tool, swing trade. It's adaptable to your needs. So let's go ahead and look at the broader markets while we figure this out, and look at Total 3. Total 3 got a little bit scared by BTC's moves up. We also had a nuke on the 12-hour print yet again, so we're getting mighty fatigued as people take their alt profits and possibly trim them as they reach into their higher high levels. Seeing a bunch of Near, Mina, Phantom, OP, Say, STX, Dot, Soul still moving to the upside. I believe my man was looking at Matic, and we were talking about it possibly going even higher because we had some liquidity up in that region at that 105 zone. So we came back and recovered this wick now for Matic. And we were looking at that for you yesterday, talking about the liquidity of reaching into the all-time high levels, and we were bullish in terms of holding these shallow retrace levels. Normally I wait for the deeper retrace, but in this bullish condition you could just have gotten in off the shallow retrace to the upside. As Matic stands, there is a level that we're reclaiming right now over here on the left. Do we come back higher into the range to the deviation up here at $1.11? We already broke the dollar mark. So watching how this hourly and 4-hour close, let's go ahead and look at Matic's liquidity for my man out there, Steven. Let's go. Okay, so let's go to Matic on the 3-month. There we go. So it basically took out all the liquidity we were talking about coming higher into this region to sweep all of the draw and liquidity. We said yesterday there was not much down below to grab unless you came all the way back to 73. So seeing a continuation into the high level to sweep all of this up would be the case, and it came back and swept up everything. As it stands right now, even if we go to like a 2-year time frame for Matic, technically there's still some shorts up here in that $1.20 mark. So if they want to come up to that pool, they can. If the shorts that were still open from April of last year are still there, they could be coming back to that $1.20 region. But overall, you have swept basically everything off the table, even on the 2-year time frame, except for that pool up above. So everything has been reclaimed from Matic. So you could see a little bit of a tapering effect here. I would consider trimming if you were in profits. No reason not to. If you look at the volume here, there is less volume in this recent candle, and the previous 4 hours has less than the other 4 hours. So as we rise up, the volume is tapering. That is generally a sign of people losing interest in the buy. If you go to the hourly, you see a little bit more dynamic with the volume here, but ultimately not getting that much interest generated in the last 3 hours of a lot of drift into the short liquidity. So that is Matic in a nutshell. We are reaching into that idea for Matic. We're still ultra bullish. These clouds, the trend cloud and the baselines have yet to cross down on the hourly, so it could still just drift up, but we are at that wick resistance level. And seeing this volume kind of taper here on the 15. One thing we can do here is if we take the impulse from the 15-minute up here down to the wick here, it will tell you what kind of levels we're looking at. We came to that 1382, hung out for a while, now coming back into the possibly the $8 region of this deviation path. So ultimately, yeah, congrats on the Matic call for my man Steven there. So if people are trimming on their alts and reinvesting into Bitcoin, they could be buying at a discount level within the premium array that we're in. So this is all premium prices, but within this small little consolidation path, we'll have to go to a different chart. If we go to this consolidation path here, basically inside of this range, we are beneath this equilibrium price. So beneath this white line is technically a discount in this range. So anything below this level is a discount region for Bitcoin within this higher time frame. If we are looking to go up from here, then this is where they would buy up, and then they would distribute down into these levels. Just a theory, but if they do come up to that, sweep that buy side one last time and then come back down for the retrace idea, would make sense. So as we come to this 12-hour cloud, we are beneath it though. So the 12-hour cloud is something that we need to reclaim if there is going to be upside. If you're in a short, congratulations, you can just leave it and set your stops into profit. It looks like there could be a continuation idea, but the liquidity is suggestive ever so slightly of possibly coming up into that 43,336 idea. And this was where we come to the 15-minute for that idea here. If we come and see this cloud kiss, do we come back to the cloud and kiss the cloud and see this cloud thin on the 15? It's going to happen off the stream, but we have already reclaimed the cloud. Do we come back and kiss it and see it thin and come back to a discount level for this? This would be an equilibrium 42,119. We will be here and watching. Let's go see if anyone has any questions. What's up, everyone? Yo, yo, yo. CNC, MMA, sup? How was the Christmas? Nice. Thailand, that's cool. Safe travels indeed. Have fun there, Mark. Nice. You guys have anything you want me to look at while you have me? I gotta dip out soon. I gotta be at work in about 30 minutes. But, I mean, at some point, at least coming back to retrace into some of this, I mean, you go down to go up, to go down, to go up, to go down. It's not a static process, right? So if we come up to that level, I would not be surprised if we come back and tap those vectors over here. We reclaimed pretty much everything. I was nearly stopped out of my short, like over here on Sunday. I entered at, where was it? 9. Hold on, I have it somewhere. Hold up. I entered at like 9:15, and then my stop was at 43,888, and I was off by $2. They almost stopped me out. If they had risen up $2 more, it would have stopped me out. It was pretty crazy, but it gave me that much on the runner, so I was happy to close it in profit. And then I started looking at the long, which then closed at break even at that 2%. So we're just chilling right now, looking for some more higher probability setups here. Coming down to that equilibrium and seeing if it holds or not. Do you reclaim this and turn this into an order block? If we have Momentum Master, you could also turn on your order block finder. If you don't know what all that stuff is, we did tap into one over here. This was a layered one, so this has a lot of interest generated as a bullish order block here, and so that's probably why we got bought up. So we SR flipped that idea. And then do we come back for a double bottom discount into here and see if the interest is generated or not? That will be the question. This is one of those features we don't even advertise on the website, but we have that there. All right, well, that's what we're looking for now, is a little bit of a bounce into the short liquidity. I would not be surprised if they come up to that 43,331. Let's just say 43,333. Let's make it even 43 quadruple threes. Can we make that quadruple threes? Can I change the... How do I change where it is? Okay, very good. There we go. 43,333. There is some liquidity there. So do we come up to that region and get a bearish retest of this drop down / possibility of coming to that 45K block? Ultimately, the cloud is bearish on a lot of time frames, including the 12, and you have that 3-day cross down event. So ultimately, I'm looking for a retrace on the like a swing retrace short. I could have possibly held mine, but already trimmed and closed, but we got paid handsomely either way. So looking to possibly re-enter a short, not necessarily at 43333. I'd be more interested in seeing it stab up here and fade at the 45K region. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, folks. So all good. Nice. Yeah, let's have a happy new year indeed. So thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same, bringing the fire, the accuracy, the precision, all that fun stuff, and we'll catch you